Hello all, just wanted to give an update on kind of where I'm at with the micro armor or the 1/300, 285th scale stuff. So I played first kind of real game with Dad the other day with Fistful of Tows, and it went pretty well. But it's always a challenge kind of keeping track of the units because that's important for some morale things. So I wanted to show you a technique that I'm using to mark mine, but first just wanted to talk quick about basically how I've been painting them. So I have just been spray painting them, coating them obviously, and then coming back in with the airbrush and putting the Dunkel Gelb on them, and then I came in with a brush, unfortunately, and just painted the greens and the browns, the reddish browns that they used. I really wanted to try to use the airbrush, but I just am not good enough with the airbrush to get these tiny little lines here. So the lines are a little harsher than I like, but I think just with the 6mm stuff, like you have to have more contrast in the painting for it to stand out a little bit more on the table. So I'm not completely unhappy. So here's how I've ended up basing them. Each of them have magnetic bottoms, and then they're all on just 1.5mm thick plywood bases. So as I'm going through, they're already on the base when I paint them. I have like a little metal strip that then I can just stick these on top of, and then it makes it super easy to spray paint or even use the airbrush on them to get the Dunkel Gelb on it. So once I do that, then I paint the greens and the reddish browns on, and then I washed it over top of that to kind of lessen that. But I'll plan to do another video on how I actually end up painting them, because they're not finished. Like I still got to paint the tracks and still got to paint the details and all of that sort of stuff. So but pretty happy with how they are looking so far. But one thing in Fistful of Tows is that you have to kind of keep track of your units. And so I just wanted to show you a quick technique on how I am doing this. So as you can see, there's like this little magnet on the back of this, and then my plan is to use some of this stuff, it's like a flexible metal sort of stuff, flex steel I think is what they call it, and then I'm going to use that to put the unit markings on there. So obviously I'm going to put the magnets on there first, and then I'll come in and put the ground material, flocking and stuff like that over top of it. So I'm going to use probably a lot of just mud looking material to try to make it look like it could be in any season, winter or spring or summer. But I do find that I am going to have to use these markers to keep the units. And I really don't like to paint it on the back, because that really kind of narrows you down as far as what you can do with what unit is what. So that being said, I just want to show you real quick how I have found this technique. So I put them in the back because I don't like the marking to be super obnoxious and like out the air to see. And so, you might have to spend a little time looking for it, but I try to hide it behind the vehicle itself. I put just a little bit of CA glue on there, and then I take my X-Acto knife, which then allows me to get one of these small little magnets off. I get that on the end of the X-Acto knife, and then I have some of the CA glue Instaset stuff that you can buy pretty much anywhere. I put that in just a little cup. I dip the magnet in there. I come over, set this on the back, and then I just let it set for a couple seconds, and that's usually enough to drag it off, and your magnet is set. So in the tanks in the vehicles, there's a magnet inside the vehicle itself, and then there'll be a magnet back here. The magnet inside the vehicle allows me to put some smoke on there, and allows me to, you know, it doesn't fall off, and you don't have to spend hours kind of dealing with it. So I'm going to use like these little nails here to do it. So that's, you can see where the magnet is. So it's not perfect, but it does keep it from rolling all over the place. So that's just a little idea that I have for getting these things to look well. But I'll keep you posted on how the rest of it goes. Talk to you later.